righty. G'day, Steeler Nation. Welcome to the Unofficial Steelers Podcast. Are you fellas pumped up or what?
Yeah, man, that's a great intro, bro. I love the music. Love the music.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Man, oh man, I'm pumped up, but it seems like our team isn't.
A little bit anemic offensively, that's true.
Yep.
Holy dooly. We are going a bit of, so let's get a bit of the homework out of the way. We're doing a podcast here for the next probably 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So it's a new adventure we're doing on Steelers Nation Australia today. And I believe we're going on your channel, Nathan, in hindsight next week. And then we're going back to Daniel's and Stab the Steelers. There are links in the description. Go and check them out. Click them. And when you do that, try and, sub to every single channel. So this podcast will be rotating around the world or on our channels. And there is no home because we are the Unofficial Steelers Podcast.
That's it.
And there is no channel, right?
That's it.
So with that out of the way, we have to talk about Trubisky. Is Trubisky on the hot seat? I want to start with with Daniel first.
Man, I sure do hope so. You know, the performance that he had this past this past game was pretty bad. You know, I know there's a lot of talk out there that there was the Matt Canada's play calling and this, that, and the third. However, I've kind of broken down on my channel a couple of times. You know, when the play call comes in, there's more than one, and it's based on what the quarterback sees when he goes down underneath the, when he gets to the line, based on the personnel, based on the alignment of the defense, on which play is going to be run. And then even after that, after the snap of the ball, based on what happens at that point, there's a lot of things that go through the play that's actually ran on the field, and it all goes through the quarterback. And there's so many plays down the field where he's being impatient, checking it down way too early, and leaving a lot of yards in the game, in my opinion. I hope he's in the hot seat. I know Mike Tomlin didn't hear the Kenny chants, but the rest of the world did.
How did Mike Tomlin not hear the Kenny chants?
That headset must have been tighter than it could have been.
And you know what? We'll get into Mike Tomlin as well. He's my mate, and I think there's a bit of pressure on Mike Tomlin right now too. Right? I do say he's a winner, and you need to deal with it. He's got a winning this and winning that. But at the same time, this offense looks so stale. Nathan, is Trubisky on the hot seat?
To you guys listening real quick before I answer that, I did a 15-minute rant on my YouTube channel about this bullshit that we're seeing early on in the season here. So I officially was able to get my rant, my energy, was able to vent on that episode. So I feel pretty calm and collected right now. So we're not going to be having the yelling and screaming on this.
I like that, man. I saw it, man. It was awesome. I watched all of it. It was great. I
appreciate it. And you had to say what you had to say. It was simple as that. Everybody's tired of it. To answer your question, yeah, absolutely is. And I don't want to hear from the people on Twitter. Oh, let's give them another couple games. What's going to change in a couple games? Nothing's going to change in a couple games. If you guys are fine with mediocrity, then so be it. But we're not.
No,
just before we go into it, I'm going to give some shout outs to our live chat. Daredevil, we got George in here. We got Andrew. I think he's from Melbourne. One of my mates down from Melbourne. Daniel from that's Daniel, right, from the Drunk Turkey Show.
Yeah, that's Big Blue from the Drunk Turkey Show. He got a little drunk on my show the other day, and talked about how what's his face? Mitch Trubisky has some Aaron Rodgers moments. I'm sorry, Big Blue. I think you were drinking a little bit too much on that portion of the show.
I'm not sure what Aaron Rodgers he's showing.
Yeah, he's not gonna. Aaron Rodgers won't play well this year, I don't think. Anyways, we have George in there again with Here We Go show. Man, Devin was at the game. Unfortunately, you had to see that abysmal offense, and I still like our defense. I like our O-line. There's something going on with Trubisky. There's something going on with Canada, and it's I think we've all had enough. We last year were it's a Matt Canada system. We'll figure it out next year. It's awful. It's beyond awful. It's terrible. They're averaging 4.8 yards a play and 4.4, and the highest is 7.7. We are going terrible.
That's fine.
Robin from Hawaii.
Robin.
Brian Brown's in here. Kelsey in here. Who else we got?
Kelsey, that's my girlfriend, actually.
There you go. Is she a Steelers fan?
She's in the chat. Yes, she is. So she wanted to catch the debut of the of the show.
Is Kelsey pissed off?
Yeah, she's sick and tired of it like everybody else. She's been ready for Kenny Pickett since before the first preseason game, man.
Yeah, it's
before.
For me on Mitchell Trubisky, and the easy thumbnail and title I made today was he on the hot seat. I don't even know if you even need a hot seat because was he ever hot? I don't know why I did that. I was like, why did I make it a hot seat? He hasn't. I literally have not seen in 2 games from this quarterback anything special. Darn near Cooper Rush beat the Bengals.
Yeah,
he beat the Bengals, and I thought the Bengals were going to win that game. Cooper Rush looked fantastic in that game. Mitchell Trubisky looks scared. He looks not confident. He looks like when he goes to the huddle, he doesn't know what play is being called, and he can't change it.
No,
he's not allowed to change it, right? There is something missing here.
I got a question for you about that, Mark. Would you, as a coach, have confidence in Mitch Trubisky changing your plays? What has he shown you that he has the ability to change the plays that are being called?
No, you're probably right, man. Probably not.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't want him changing my plays either. You know, based on what he's seeing, he's you've heard of the one trick pony. He's a one read pony. That's all he does. He reads one play. If it's not there, he's checking it down. You don't want a guy changing your plays that's going to be doing that. What is he going to change it to?
Why does he always go backwards on his quarterback play? Nathan, why is he always on the back foot? Every pass I see him is on the back foot.
Why is he always on the back foot? Man, I would love to give a smart-ass remark about that, but I really have no idea. I really don't know what it is that makes him. Shout out to Dante and Kyler. How you guys doing tonight? Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate your guys' support for the debut episode here. I don't know what the answer is, man. I really don't. I don't know why the guy can't just step up and make a play, because I don't want to hear anything about the offensive line. The offensive line has done their part in terms of pass protection, and every team's offensive line is going to give up pressure one way or another. That's how it is. So I don't know if people are expecting it to be a clean pocket every play or anything like that. I don't. But Mitch has had more times than enough to step up, to make a play, to look down the field where or in the middle field where clearly nobody is apparently. But we can go back and look at videos people want to crop, tape, film, whatever it is, and we all know how many guys he's whiffing on. So why can't you just step up and if your first guy isn't there, why can't you step up when you have the time and target George Pickens, who's open 90% of the time that he said today, Chase Claypool, who's always who's been getting some pretty good separation as of late? I don't understand it.
Man, I think we started you again.
This is part 2, everybody. This is part 2 of the rant.
Part two.
All right. I want to bring up this visual, and I want to get your reaction to this, Daniel. If you guys can see this. What's going on here? Explain to me this pass chart from the previous game. What stands out to you? What do you see?
Well, here's the thing. In the last game, I had mentioned that the safety, I believe, is Adrian Phillips, who would be equivalent to what the Steelers want to do with DeMonte Casey, was going to be injured and in and out of the lineup. So was Bentley, their middle linebacker. And I emphasized that if the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted to win this game, there's going to be an opportunity there over the middle and to make some passes over the middle. And as you can see, they didn't even attempt it very much. And when they did, Mr. Trubisky got picked. However, in my opinion, that was just a horrible throw. I don't know what he was looking at or where he was going with that play, but that was absolutely horrible. But yeah, like I said before, not even attacking the middle. And that's just plain horrible in my opinion.
Any thoughts on this this graphical image here, Nathan? Are you a fan of these dots? Are you playing Connect 4? What's going on?
Watching the game, I wish I was playing Connect 4. This is just embarrassing, dude. It's just an embarrassment. It really is. Like, dude, if Cooper Rush is allowed to throw the ball down the field, I mean, there's no excuse for it. There's not. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I was watching all the games. I was watching the game yesterday, the Jalen Hurts versus the Vikings. That offense is fantastic, and I'm so jealous.
They're doing a great job.
I'm so jealous because he was switched on. His feet were set. He's the proper quarterback play. When he wanted to roll out, he still roll out and found targets. He was decisive. He was like one of the best quarterbacks I saw all weekend, actually. And I've got him in my fantasy. I thought he was going to go off this year. Here's a question, and I'll start with you, Daniel. Was it Big Ben's problem last year, or was it Matt Canada's problem?
Well, I think you got two different problems here. And this is kind of to the defense of Matt Canada. Last year, you had a quarterback who wasn't very mobile, who had, maybe the arm strength wasn't what it used to be. And so he was probably a circle trying to fit in a triangular hole. You know what I'm saying? Or a circular peg trying to fit in a triangular hole. With Mitch Trubisky, he's not very accurate, especially on the run. As far as him going on his back foot, in my opinion, he just seems uncomfortable in the pocket. He seems unsure of himself, and he runs out of clean pockets all the time. It's one of those things where, it reminds me of a quarterback, like I said, who's scared and is feeling pressure that's not there. And, it's just one of those things where it's very, very frustrating with Mitch Trubisky. And I think it's time, man. I think it's time that we go with Kenny Pickett. I think it's time for the kid. I think that, we're not going to see, Kenny Pickett start this game. No way, not on a short week, not on not with practice, only having one practice in there. However, I think it was from Steel City Underground. They were in stadium for the game, and one of the guys said he saw Kenny Pickett warming up with a helmet on, throughout the game. It was right before Mitch Trubisky made the touchdown pass and got the 2-point conversion. But that's what the rumors were, that Kenny Pickett was warming up. So I think if Mitch struggles early, there's a good chance we see Kenny Pickett sighting probably at halftime of this game.
I think I saw him too. Maybe they glanced around, they put their helmet on or something like that. But I remember in that game, it was 17-14. Maybe Tom was hoping that the defense gave him 2 drives to go down and secure the victory. Couldn't do it. And if people are saying the defense let him win near the end, I don't agree with that take at all, because they did run the ball, and the Patriots did exactly what I thought they would do. They would run the ball effectively near the end to win. They did that, and they did play action. And by that time, our defense, Steelers defense, stopped them twice in a row in the fourth quarter, 3 and outs. We got the ball back, and every time we got it back, we went 3 and outs, and that was it. And it's like you give Trubisky a third chance. So maybe they were warming up Kenny Pickett to run down the field, or maybe at least prepare or think to prepare for next week. I wouldn't be surprised either if he struggles early in 2 drives and they put the kid in there, because why not? It doesn't. It phases me what they're doing right now, and it is definitely Canada's problem and Trubisky, but to a certain extent, we don't know if it's fully Canada's problem yet, because it might just be Trubisky's absolutely terrible. Like,
well, here's one big clue about that this is not Matt Canada's fault. And only Mitch Trubisky can answer this. But in 3 consecutive games going back to preseason, Mitch Trubisky has chosen to run out of bounds 2 yards, taking a sack for a 2-yard loss in 3 consecutive games. That's decision-making on his part. Matt Canada is not designing him to run out of bounds in that situation. Matt Canada is not telling him not to throw the ball out of bounds. Those are situations where the most recent one was with time running down, trying to get into field goal position at the end of the half, and the decision making that he's making, that's not a high school quarterback would know to throw the ball away in that situation. There's no excuse for that, and you can't throw that on the offensive coordinator. And if he's making those decisions in those moments and those in pressure situation, what makes you think that he's making that it's Matt Canada's fault when it comes to the play calling?
So Nathan, we talked last week, right, about some positives. I think it was on one of our podcasts, might have been your state, and this is the reason why we are doing the Unofficial Steelers Podcast. What's the positive play last week? Do you think any positive plays that stand out? Was it the drive that got back for a touchdown? That was pretty good to see, but there was no huddle.
I think that the position.
I want to say when they threw George Pickens the only ball he got for 23 yards. I don't know what else to say.
I didn't like that throw. The position of that ball, he made that catch a lot more harder than it had to be. George Pickens was wide open.
Yeah, he did. I was just glad that he threw him the ball. and he caught it for 23 yards. I'll take that any day.
Well, if we go to this chart, right? They literally only threw over the 20 yards and nowhere in the middle. And the one time he does throw in the middle was an interception and a few incomplete passes as well. Now, everything else is checked them to the side.
reason that interception shows that far out is because it got tipped back 15 yards. That's the reason why. It was tipped probably about 5 or 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, and then it bounced back into the interception of Jalen Mills' hands.
Yeah. All right, let's spin a bit of positive then. What needs to happen, and I'll go with you first, Nathan. What needs to happen for us to pretty much shut up and go, wow, Trubisky's done it? What needs to happen? Do you need to see a drive? Do you need to see TDs? Do you need to see confidence?
I don't want to see just one drive. I think for us fans to sit there on Thursday and be like, okay, let's see where we can go with this. Let's see how we can build on this. We have to see consistency. We have to see not when it's 3rd and 8 and throwing a little 2-yard dump off. No, absolutely not. It's going to be at a point because of, and it's kind of how accustomed we are because of how the offense has been the last few years. So we're kind of accustomed to it already. But we have to see, for us to really sit here and not want to, not chant Kenny or sit here and say it's time to make the switch again on Thursday. We have to see consistent drives. We have to see the offense on the field, man. We have to see Najee Harris hitting some holes to help out the offense. We need to see Trubisky not do what he's been doing. Don't make the stupid plays. Don't be a dumbass. Don't freaking run around when you have a pocket there that you can step up in, take a couple seconds, wait for a play to unfold. We have to see that. We have to see. I agree, Tim. Put the rookie quarterback in. We said he should have started the first game of the year. We need to see Mitch. We need to see Canada take a stand, grow a spine or something, and get the ball down the field. Enough's enough of it. Defenses are playing the Steelers how they've been playing them the last couple of years, and nothing's changing. So I think for us to sit here and say that is if when we actually see change.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it does fall on Coach Tom. A lot of it falls on Matt Canada. I saw the interview with Matt Canada. He looked like it was pathetic. A lot of nervous ticks, a lot of head shrugging, a lot of what do you call it?
What a great leader you are, Matthew. What a great leader.
Mannerisms of he looks scared. He's almost like, well, I don't want to answer anything too wrong, and he kind of probably knows he's an awful coach. Where he's like, nothing excites me with this offense, and I think even for me, I've been trying to defend Matt Canada and the system, the idea of the system. All we heard for the last 3 years is the system.
Yeah,
what is it? It's broken. The system sucks.
I don't know what the system is at this point. What's the plan too? Mitch told us we need to buy into the plan. What's the plan?
Yeah, it's just it's trying to sell a broken car with 2 wheels, and it just none of it's making sense. And I think now that for me that in my opinion that Big Ben is not here, we can finally see what it is. And we're hoping for something better. We're hoping for mobile. We're hoping for play action. Hoping for Najee to get into different holes and Jalen Warren going crazy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just a lot of hogwash and of you're averaging. I want to bring up a few of these things too. I made this in a video today or the other. I can't remember what I did. But the Steelers averaging first downs. Their NFL first downs per game is ranked 30th, 14.5. I won't bring them all up. I'll bring a few up. All right. The Steelers are averaging offense ranked 30th, 24 minutes and 28 seconds. It's horrible play. And the Steelers are ranked 30th in yards per play, 4.3. Their only worst one I think is the Panthers are 4.1 or something. And yards per game in 2 games, they have 255 yards per game. What are your thoughts on these numbers, Daniel, and how do they improve?
Well, the numbers are bad. And, the only way that they're going to improve is just sustainability and building up some kind of rhythm. At this point, it's like the Steelers have some up-tempo things that are happening, but there's no ebbs and flow, regular flow, game flow type of consistency or success. And that needs to change. And in order for Mitch Trubisky, to prove that he's, should be the guy, I think it needs to be more than a drive. Going against the Cleveland Browns, Chase Winovich, he's on IR. Clowney, he's out for the game. Myles Garrett, there's a good chance that he's not going to be playing. And so, with that in mind, there shouldn't be that big or deep of a pass rush against the Pittsburgh Steelers and against Mitch Trubisky. So he needs to make some sustainable drives, and he has to have a full game. At this point, I haven't seen a full game from a Steelers offense in a while, and that's something that I think we need to see.
Yeah, 100%, Daniel. You freaking nailed it, dude.
I haven't seen a full game either in a long time. I think this is all starting to the Australian beverage is Coke. I'm addicted to the old sugar. You know what I mean? Sponsor.
Cracking open a can, man.
Send me money, Coke. That won't happen. I think we're all coming to the point, and my friend of mine who does the Detroit Lions Syndicate, he says, well, how come you guys are already angry at Trubisky? It's a combination of a lot of things. I've never seen a quarterback play this bad in 2 games. It feels like to me he doesn't want to be out there, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Like I've never seen it. Like the offense cannot move the ball. Like we went 3 and out, and to win the game, 3 and out. And you're right, 3rd and 8, and you pass 2 yards, and you're meant to be good with that. And then you come back into the huddle. I gave Chase Claypool a lot of flack last year because he wasn't invested. You come back into the post games and they go, oh, we'll get him next time. I'm sick of that mentality, man.
Yeah.
You and I, we all buy in. All 15 people right now, we all buy in, right? And it's to a point where we're buying in that much. Maybe I don't want to buy in anymore. Maybe I don't care as much. I'm going to choose, and we're going to end the show in about 5-6 minutes. But I'm going to choose the Browns to win this game because I don't see them winning at all.
I agree.
But Nathan, what needs to happen? Do we have to have a miracle moment of 4 touchdowns, or I'm just so frustrated, man. I really am.
And rightfully so, man. You absolutely should. You actually you really should be. The only hope there is for this game for the Steelers is if Matt Canada's listening to the players, if he's listening to the organization, because there's been reports that the organization is not pleased with him. Why is he still here? Would love to know. The only hope this team has Thursday night is if they're going to make a change. That's it. And not necessarily a change of switching Trubisky, a change in the sense of catching the Browns defense off guard. Doing things that we have been dying to see the last 3 years. Doing things that anybody with an IQ would expect a quarterback or an offensive play caller to do. That's the only hope they have, to get the ball in your playmakers' hands. You're not going to do that by throwing 2-yard out routes or little 5-yard passes. So if that's going to change and you're actually going to target your playmakers and not read one guy, you're actually going to scan the field and take advantage of the time that the offensive line is giving you, well, then you might see some success and you might see a win Thursday night. Other than that, I don't think anybody should have any hope for this game. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of hope they lose because I would love to see everything. Because as that's going to get to the point when we get change.
That is true.
So I'm kind of hoping, honestly, that they fail and they lose for that sake, which it pains for me to say.
I think at this point, I think they will start to do that. They will start to.
And here's a question for you guys and even the people in the chat here. If the Steelers lose to the Browns Thursday night, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen with the fans? What's going to happen with the players? They're already disgruntled. George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. I mean, Trubisky has said a couple things too, but a lot of it's his fault
Muth as well. Muth came out and said something as well, I think, in an interview.
So what's going to happen? Is Tomlin actually going to stand up and do something about it? Because the stretch is coming, folks. When we got to go to Buffalo, Tampa Bay comes out here, Miami Sunday night, and Philadelphia. Those are their 4 games after the Jets. Are you just going to sit there and say, "Oh no, this is fine"?
We ain't winning in Buffalo.
That game's ready a blowout.
That's going to be tough. That one's going to be tough.
That's a blowout, dude. Waiting to happen.
All right, let's do some final thoughts, and then we'll do a prediction after that, and then we'll wrap it up, and I'll start to close it out. Daniel, final thoughts on this idea of Trubisky being on the hot seat?
Well, I think he is on the hot seat. I think that if the Steelers want to have a chance to make a playoff run, there's got to be some change. I think Nathan hit it right on the nail on the head there with the disgruntledness. I mentioned this throughout the season up to this point is, if Mr. Trubisky fails and Mike Tomlin doesn't want to put in the rookie, there's a chance that he can lose a locker room. Now, you're already hearing disgruntled players. There's even rumors that some of the receivers, well, some of the players, it's not indicated it was receivers, but it sounds like it was receivers, were, telling Mitch Trubisky to change the play in the huddle, giving advice about different plays that could potentially be ran versus what Matt Canada was putting out there. There's a lot of quotes and stuff going out there. So it's very concerning. This offense is playing very poor. I actually have the Browns winning this game 19-16 as well. I think it's going to be close. The defense is going to keep it close. I just don't think that the offense is going to show something different on a short week and make the correct adjustments when they haven't done it up to this point. And, I think that perhaps second half, Kenny Pickett makes a debut.
God,
and hopefully he stays there. Yep. Well, that's what I got for you guys.
What about your final thoughts, Nathan? Is Trubisky on the hot seat? And then I'll ask you guys predictions after that.
Yeah. Really like Daniel's answer there on that. Yeah, he is, and he should be. And I think anybody would agree with that he is on the hot seat. Trubisky did not come in here like as if this is somebody who is just getting a second opportunity with a team, a veteran guy who has a good track record, who's won a lot. No, it's not that. This is a guy who was a backup last year who is coming into this team and getting an opportunity for a second chance. That's all it is. And if he doesn't seize the opportunity, well, you have a first-round pick who you drafted to be your future guy, so there should be no hesitation to move off of Mitch Trubisky. You have no ties, no committed to this guy. Nothing. So 100% he should be on the hot seat, and 100% he is. Now, how long Tomlin wants to milk him out to be on me, but if we really see the same thing, I mean, you have to make the move. You have to. And it's not, and just because the Steelers make the move to Pickett, nobody's saying that Kenny Pickett's going to change the season around or do this or that. Not at all. But you're putting the guy in there that's your future. You're putting the guy in there who, in my opinion, outplayed Trubisky in the preseason and deserves to be playing. That's the only way Pickett's going to grow. What's he need to sit on the bench for? He's not learning shit.
No idea, man.
No, so it's his time. His time's now. Trubisky has not taken advantage of anything. And you know what? Good quarterbacks, productive quarterbacks, are going to overcome poor play calling at the same time. And Mitch hasn't done any of that. And it's not all his fault, but a lot of it's on him. So 100% he's on the hot seat.
I agree. And with my final thoughts here, I want to bring up Brian Brown's comment. And he's an excellent Steelers fan. And I agree with this. You think positive Steelers going to win. Now, I am one of the most positive Steelers fans. I think we all are. We want our team to win. But I've never felt like this, where a quarterback, I've thought, what I've seen the last two games, every single drive, they don't want to score points. They don't want to score points. They have no identity how to go and score points. Even with Duck, Mason Rudolph, Landry Jones, Big Ben, any of these quarterbacks scored points or tried to score points, right? At least went down the field. This offense is terrible. It's stale. The stats reflect that. They're 30th, 31st in the league, 32nd.
Yep.
Really bad. Time possession is 26 and a half minutes. Terrible. And even that's probably including overtime. So you can think positive all you want, but at the same time, I'm in reality now, I'm thinking, I just can't see Trubisky going out there and beating the Browns. I can't see him going down and getting maybe a touchdown because they haven't done it in 2 games, and that's 8 quarters. It's not like I don't think he had one good quarter in the last 2 games. And the preseason as well, he even played poorly there too, right? Let's go around the grounds now. Daniel, who wins? And just give me the score of who wins.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Browns winning this game 19-16. I hate to say it, but it's just a short week. The Steelers haven't played well on a short week in the past. I don't foresee the Steelers making the right adjustments on this short week. I think they keep it close and are in a position to potentially win. However, the Steelers have been in close games for so long. That pendulum swings back the other way. When you're playing one score wins, you're not going to win them all. And for last season, there were 7 of their 9 wins were by one score. So, it's without Ben Roethlisberger and a quarterback that I don't trust, Mitch Trubisky. Hopefully if Kenny Pickett makes a debut, I think the Steelers can win. If he doesn't, the Steelers lose. That's the difference, in my opinion. Kenny makes a debut. The Steelers win by 3. He doesn't. They lose by 3.
Who wins? Who wins, Nathan, and what score?
Browns are going to win this game if Trubisky plays the whole game. I'm sorry. And we want to be positive about the team, but at the end of the day, you have to say what needs to be said. You have to. You can't blindly support the team. And there was this one account I saw on Twitter, the Steeler Gang account, and they said that we shouldn't have been that the people at the game shouldn't have been chanting Kenny and to support who's on the field. Yes, you support who's on the field, but you're not going to you don't blindly support that. So you just sit there and take it. You sit there and take his fan. This is fine. Apparently.
Well, also, it's easy to say Kenny than it is Trubisky.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
Blindly supporting the team in that manner is how you end up being in that celebration for the 0-16 Browns.
Yes.
Remember that? They were celebrating the fact that they went 0-16. Yeah. That's how you end up being a celebration like that, by celebrating who's on the field for play. What's
your score? What's your score, Nathan?
I'm going to say 23-17 Browns. We don't really see much difference offensively. Even if they might try a little bit, we don't see much difference. No accountability is taken. And we're just going to sit here and continue to watch the same garbage that we've been seeing the last 2 weeks. And like I said, the only hope for them to win this game is either one, you put a guy in Kenny Pickett in there who, I'm not saying, nobody's saying that he's going to be the savior of this season necessarily. He's got the tools to be a good quarterback, but at least this guy steps up in the pocket. At least this guy doesn't throw off his back foot. And at least this guy, the very strength of his college career, one of them was throwing in the middle of the field. So you might at least see some difference, at least in the short term, with Kenny Pickett, because we all know he still will be hindered by Matt Canada nonetheless. But you're getting a breath of fresh air, and you're getting the guy who's going to be the future of this team going forward. But yeah, 23-17 is Browns, how I feel comfortable about it. But we obviously hope the Steelers win, and will pull their head out of their asses and listen to their own players and everything like that. So that's really the only hope we can have going into Thursday. It's still early enough in the season. It's only week 2. It's still early enough in the season to make changes, to do something. You have the talent, man. The talent is there to be productive, to produce more, right? And there's going to be growing pains. New quarterback, right? Kenny, and whenever Kenny's time comes, yeah, there's going to be certain growing pains and stuff like that comes with it, a guy young. But we all know what he's capable of doing. We all know that his talent's there to be a guy to really grow into a solid player, for sure. Unless you're just someone that just doesn't like the Steelers or doubts him. But there's a lot to be excited about for the team. But there's not a lot of excitement right now because of everything that's being hindered by the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. So that's what I'm ending on there, folks.
That's it exactly. So for me, the biggest elephant in the room right now is Trubisky in Canada. I like the rest of the team. I think the rest of the team is great. I think the rest of the team is fantastic. We have a chance for a playoff win. That's why it hurts so much that this team sucks on offense, because Trubisky is letting him down. He's not a leader. He's not a captain. I don't know why they gave him the captain. He doesn't do anything that says like that. You've had 8 quarters. That's long enough. That's long enough to be a quarterback coming into a new team to take over. You've done absolutely nothing for the Steelers. It's time for Kenny, but I'm going to go with a big score. I actually think that the Browns will win 27-10. Okay. I think they're going to kill us. I think if Nick Chubb gets a lot of time on their offense and their defense gets worn out, he's going to run over us.
Like 100%. Great.
He's been playing awesome and they're playing at home. They're fired up. They know that Trubisky is a bad quarterback. Half the league knows how to defend the check down Charlies. Yeah. Half the league knows he's not going to go over the middle. If he plays the exact same way, we will see a game that gets out of hand, and it will be 27-10, and there'll be a fumble, there's something going on. It's going to be damn awful. But we're going to end it here, guys. And before I end it, I'm going to post this comment in the chat, because here's how it works. We are the Unofficial Steelers Podcast. We have no channel. We have no home, right? So the next place you'll see this Unofficial Steelers Podcast will be Saturday. And I think we're still doing it. I think, Nathan, you were saying it was in the morning, but if we can try and do it at night, it will be great. But we'll figure out a time.
Either one.
But it will be on Saturday, and it will be on Nathan's channel called In Hindsight. That's how it's going to work. So you guys, if you like the content with us 3, you have to go and sub to well, not have to. You can do whatever you want. We encourage you. We encourage you. We ain't Matt Canada. We ain't telling you what to do. All right. We encourage you to go over to In Hindsight, sub to Nathan's content, and you'll see us over there next Saturday. But fellas, I'm telling you, I here it is, Brian Brown. Let me do it again. Check that link. So, of course, check out Nathan's channel stuff too. Go check out his rant. It's fantastic. It goes for like 15 minutes. It's so good.
15-minute rant, folks.
But fellas, this has been gravy, man. This has been great.
Yeah.
I want to say thanks, guys. But we're going to keep doing this every Saturday and Tuesday, or however we figure it out, at least twice a week, and see what happens. But I'm at the point we're going to lose. The Steelers will lose to the Browns because Trubisky can't play.
Yep. I don't know how anybody's confident about the game. I really don't. I mean, is it sad when you don't look forward to a Steeler game? Like, is it sad at that point when you're not excited?
I've never felt like this. I've never seen like even Landry, anyone. Duck. I was excited for Duck. Duck threw the ball down the field, man. Duck did something.
That's true.
Like, I've never been here. Anyways, guys, that was a good first episode of the Unofficial Steelers Podcast.
Guys.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, everyone in the chat. You're all bloody awesome. We'll see you later. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Peace.
Oh, that's the wrong one. that was the background.